Good afternoon, everybody. Now, see, my camera is crooked. Oh, did I do it too much? Too much. It is so hard to get lined up for these videos. Let me see here. If I can get lined up just a little bit better. I'm going to call that good. So good afternoon. Carol Buckalew with Inky Stampers. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Hello, Mary. Thanks so much for joining. So I hope everybody's having a nice summer day, that you enjoyed the 4th of July holiday. Me and my family went to a matinee movie yesterday afternoon. We went to see The Sound of Freedom. It was a good movie. Very heart-wrenching movie, but very well done. And then last night we stayed home with the puppies, you know, just in case they were scared of the fireworks, but they actually slept through all of the fireworks in the neighborhood. So that was a good thing. So I hope you enjoyed the 4th. I have a pretty little card here today made with the Darling Details bundle and the Glorious Gingham 6x6 Designer Series paper. But before I get into that, and this is not something I do, I usually talk at the end, you know, a little bit about what's going on at Stampin' Up, but tomorrow's a big day at Stampin' Up. So I just wanted to alert you, and you can find details on my blog tomorrow. Some of them are out there today on my blog post. All of them will be out there tomorrow for you to review. And I've got links and everything for you, but tomorrow starts bonus days. And that runs from July 6th through July 31st. And you can, for every $50 that you spend on a Stampin' Up! Order, you can earn a $5 coupon. And there's no limit to the number of coupons that you can earn. Hey, Tara Beth, thanks for joining. There's no limit to the number of coupons that you can earn during the promotion period, July 6th through the 31st. And then you'll be able to cash those coupons in for merchandise in August. So that's exciting. And then Stampin' Up! Is having a Paper Pumpkin 48-hour sale, July 6th and 7th only. And that is on like past kits and stuff, and you'll be able to get some savings there. You must be a current Paper Pumpkin subscriber, so you need to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. You must subscribe by July 10th to Paper Pumpkin in order to be, you know, cash in on this 48-hour sale. So basically, you need to subscribe now. New online exclusives are coming on July 6th, and it looks like there's going to be some fun stuff. So, you know, jump online. I'll have a link for you, and you'll be able to access the online exclusives in the online store to check out all the new goodies. But there's like a really cute little truck with a punch that looks pretty awesome. Hi, Faith. Thanks so much for joining. Mary, I see my screen kind of blipping in and out, so the connection may be, the issue may be on my end. So I'm really not sure. And that happens kind of all the time. Oh, so sorry, Mary, that you're not able to watch. And then the very last item, Stampin' Up! As of tomorrow, will refresh the clearance rack, so you can get some really good savings there. But I just wanted to quickly kind of go over that with you guys so that you'd have that information at your fingertips. Check my blog out today and tomorrow for more details. So this is the stamp set and the dies that I use, the Darling Details. For today's card, I used the smaller eyelet frame, which is super adorable. And then I stamped a few flowers, the large and the small flower, and then one of the little 3-leaf sets. I also die cut a couple of these little flower sprigs for my card. And then the Glorious Gingham paper is just so pretty. And I'm kind of in love with Berry Burst. I am really loving this color, especially for summer. And combined with the lemon lime twist, it's just so cute. So I'm going to set my card aside here, and we'll go ahead and get some stamping done for the card. Let me just grab my pieces here. And the Darling Details, it is a distinctive die set. So, and it's also a two-step stamp set. Yeah, I love the Berry Burst. I love it so much. So it is a two-stamp set, but I only used the detailed stamps for the flowers. I did use the two-step stamping for the 3-leaf image, and I'll share that with you in a minute. But I did something a little bit different. It's not a big deal, but I did some ink blending to color the center of those flowers rather than using the fill stamp to fill the color in. So this is my inside panel, and I'm going to go ahead and get my Berry Burst ink out. Yeah, Berry Burst is like one of my new faves. I just love it. I think it's so pretty. And I'm going to stamp this large flower right here in the top corner of my inside panel. I'm going to stamp the little, the detail image of the half flower kind of down here in the corner. And then I'm going to stamp my inside greeting, thank you, also in Berry Burst. And hopefully I can get this fairly straight. Sometimes my eyeballs, I don't know, sometimes they don't work right. I'm going to keep that Berry Burst out, and I'm going to get my Lemon Lime Twist ink out, and I'm going to stamp this little leaf sprig, and I just picked one of the leaf sprigs, but I'm just going to kind of stamp that off here to the side of my flower. Alrighty, and let me see here, envelope. Let's put a flower on the front of the envelope, and again, Berry Burst. And I'm going to put that right down here in the corner. Okay, and again, the leaf sprig. And we'll just kind of put it off here to the side. I don't think it would interfere. There's still plenty of room there for a return address on that envelope. Get these inks closed up before I stick my fingers in them. So this is our inside panel. As I mentioned, we've got a card base, a top fold card base in Lemon Lime Twist. I'm going to grab some scrap paper here, and I'm going to grab my bubble bath ink, and it goes nicely with the Berry Burst. And I am just going to use the bubble bath ink to shade the center, and this is such a light ink. I really don't need to tap off. I'm not sure if Mary dropped or not. She was having internet issues. But Mary, if you're still on, I hope Finn is doing okay. Hope he's feeling better today. It's really a worry when our fur babies aren't feeling well. So the bubble bath ink just provides a nice little glow to these flowers. And I love these flowers so much. They're very whimsical and just so pretty. So that is the envelope front done. And let me get our, let me get this inside panel put into our card, because this is done now too. And then we can start working on putting together our card. I did want to share with you how I created the sentiment label for this card. Something a little different. This card is for a sketch challenge for the Happy Inkin' Thursday blog hop for tomorrow. And so the sketch challenge showed this kind of wavy banner kind of sentiment label. And I was like, So I don't have a punch. I don't have a die that would make that, you know, that that kind of sentiment label. So this is what I came up with. So you can let me know what you think. But let me just grab my glue and get it over here where I can reach it better. So what I did for my sentiment label is I started off with a piece of basic white cardstock. It measures 4 1/4 by 3/4 inches tall. I'm going to grab my paper trimmer here. And what I did, I put the long side in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to score the sentiment label at 3/4 inches. So to the right of this center score line, we also have measurements. Let me get it down to where you can actually view it. Hush, you don't need to bark at the UPS guy. Maisie wants to get vocal. But I know it's probably hard to see, but there's measurements here off to the right as well. So when you're doing these short little score lines, it's very helpful to use the measurements on the right. So I've got that lined up at 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and score that at 3/4, and then I'm going to slide it up to 1 inch, and I'm going to score again. And then I'm going to flip this completely around to the other end and do the exact same thing. Score it 3/4 of an inch, and then move it to 1 inch and score again. Okay, I can put my paper trimmer away. So probably can't see that. You'll be able to, maybe you can pick it up on the camera, but I've got score lines, 2 on each end. I am going to use my Banner's Pick-a-Punch to stamp banner ends. Let me make sure I get this the right way. And I'm going to center that piece of paper in there and give that a punch and turn it around and do the other side and get it centered and give it a punch. So I now have my little banner here, but before I do anything else with it, I want to get my bubble gum ink out. Hey, Karen, thanks so much for joining. No problems. No worries. That's what's so great about video is that you're never late. You can always rewatch it, so that's a good thing. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to blend bubble bath ink on each of these banner ends, and I'm going to make it pretty dark on the banner ends. And let me turn around here and get the other side. I want these banner ends darker than the center. All right, I think that's good enough. And then I'm going to lightly blend the bubble bath right in the center of the banner sentiment label, just to give it a little color. Okay. All right, I think we can put that away now. I'm going to get my Berry Burst back out and go with my other sentiment here, which is just a note. And I'm going to get that stamped here on my label. And hopefully I didn't just mess that up. I do have an extra if I did. No, I think we're okay. And let me grab the little half flower. I wanted to just kind of create a partial image of this, of a couple of petals on the sentiment label. I'm inking this up, but I'm going to 3rd generation stamp it. So that means I'm going to stamp it once on my scrap paper, twice on my scrap paper, and then I'm going to come in here and stamp the 3rd time on my sentiment label. And that, as you can see, just very lightly leaves the impression of those petals. So I love that. I'm going to do that again. So stamp off once, twice, and the 3rd time, I'll go ahead and stamp on my sentiment label. And that is that for the sentiment label. But let me show you what else I did. So I was experimenting with this and I wasn't sure what was going to work to kind of give me the effect I was looking for. And I do have ink on me. That's never a good thing. All right, so what I'm going to do, I have those score lines at each end. I'm going to go ahead and fold. So the outside one will be a valley and the next one will be a mountain. And that is the same on each end. Now, because I did experiment kind of with this little sentiment label fold, right? What I discovered was that you kind of need to glue down these little tabs on both the front and the back, because if you don't, you kind of get a wonky looking sentiment label when you add it to your card front. So I found that if you glued these little tabs down, it worked much better. We'll see. I don't know. I liked it. You know, it's something different that I kind of came up with. I'm sure somebody else has done this in the past. Let me just hold that down real good. Make sure it's not going to come up. Oh, thank you, Faith. Yeah. I was trying to come up with, like, you know, a little banner. So this is what I came up with, and I think it fits the bill. You know, there's a little bit of height there. But anyway, that's what I came up with, good or bad. I kind of liked it. I thought it was okay. All right, so I have here a panel in basic white, and then as I mentioned, I had cut out with the smallest Darling Details frame die, you know, a piece of the Glorious Gingham in Berry Burst. And this panel measures 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then the white panel is just 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I had thought about embossing this white panel, but you know, I kind of liked the clean look of the white paper, so I opted not to. I'm going to go ahead and get this frame onto our white panel, and then we can go ahead and put that on the card front. And this is really a quick little card to put together. It really did not take too long. And then I want to just get this centered up as best I can. And again, the glue helps, right, with that. Gives you a little wiggle room. Let me see here. I think that looks pretty good. Fairly centered. We'll take it. All right. Since you already saw how I stamped and kind of color blended the little flowers, I went ahead and already worked up my flowers here for the front of my card. I'm going to go ahead and glue on the 2 large flowers. Most everything is glued down on this card, except for the smaller flower and the sentiment label. When I apply glue to the back of these larger flowers, I only want to put it in the center to leave me room to tuck in my little leaf sprigs and my leaf and my little flower sprigs. So we've got those adhered down. And then this is the 2-step stamping, I can't get a hold of it, that I did for the leaves. So the fill was 2nd generation stamped in lemon lime twist, and then I stamped the detail of the leaves full strength ink. And I'm going to just adhere this little leaf sprig under this flower here on the right. You should have waited to do your banner, Karen. Well, like I said, I don't know, right or wrong. If it looked okay to me. I was kind of stumped because I don't have a die that is kind of like a furled banner. We used to, right? We used to have a stamp, and I think it was a Christmas stamp, but it's retired, I think, and so I didn't want to use that. So I was like, I had to kind of get a little creative. I'm going to go ahead here and just try to put some very small drops of glue on the back of my flower sprig here. I want to put one on each side of my larger flowers here. Just tuck that under. And when I glue these kind of longer sprigs down, I don't put glue up at the top. I like them to kind of be a little loose. I just think that it gives it a little little more dimension. And we'll get this other flower put on. I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to do a live last week. Ugh. So, if you've watched my videos at all, you know that we've been having issues with our sump pump. My husband put a new pump in. A new sump pump in. It failed twice. And then the third time, it failed. It like completely flooded our basement. And he had been downstairs to check like late at night. You know, he got up to use the bathroom or something. And he had gone down like at midnight or whatever and checked to make sure the sump pump was okay, because we had thunderstorms one after another and torrential downpours. It was terrible. And all was good. And when he got up like at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work, the entire basement was flooded, and we have a finished basement. So the rug, everything was, it was a mess. So that's why I wasn't doing a live last Wednesday. I was cleaning up water and drying stuff, and what a mess. When, you know, all of the homes in kind of our area here in northern Delaware, right? They all have basements, and they all have wet basements. And I think basements should be outlawed in this part of the country, because we live on bedrock, you know, and there's a lot of underground springs. In fact, we have an underground spring, several that run through our development. And one neighbor had such an issue that they actually had to call, you know, the Natural Resources Department and get on a list, like a 5-year waiting list, to have the spring capped, because their sump pump ran like 24/7. It was awful. Yeah, so really start to hate water when you have to deal with it all of the time. I'm going to go ahead and put my sentiment label on, and I'm only going to put dimensionals kind of in that center section. The ends, the banner ends, are kind of stiff enough to hold up on their own. They really don't need dimensionals. So I'm just going to put some here on the ends, put one in the middle. That should be good enough. And we'll get the sentiment placed. And we're actually almost done. Oh, Faith, it was terrible. I'm so sick. You know, I grew up in a house that had water issues, and it's just disheartening because it just makes such a mess. So fans have been running downstairs 24/7. But the room's drying, everything's drying, so it's all good now, but, you know, it's just such a mess when you have to deal with it. And then this is my small half flower. I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on this little flower as well. Give it a little bit of lift. And these are half dimensionals. I cut my dimensionals in half. I like how they fit on the card. Get the covers taken off here. And I'm going to tuck that little flower if I can. Uh-oh. Let me see here. We'll put him right about there. Give him a little bit of lift. And before I forget, I always forget my embellishments. I'm going to go ahead and put some embellishments here on my card. These are the Tinsel Gems 4-pack, and really pretty colors. Lemon Lime Twist, Berry Burst. I forget what the blue and the green are right off the top of my head, but I'm going to grab some small ones here. I'm going to put a small one right in the center of that little flower. Grab a medium one here, but these have some nice sparkle. We'll put that up there. And let me grab another small one, and I'll put it right here on the corner of our sentiment label. And then I discovered that this is the Sweet Sorbet metallic woven ribbon. This ribbon, look how awesome that ribbon coordinates with Berry Burst. I don't know if you can see it well on the screen, but it coordinates really, really well. So let me go ahead. I've got 2 lengths of the metallic woven ribbon here. Just going to tie a double bow, if I can get my finger out of there. This ribbon is so easy to tie. It's very thin, and it just really ties well. Let me pull that loop out a bit. You know what? Let me try one more time. I didn't quite leave myself a long enough tail. Let's try this a second time. See how I do. And like, I'm okay if those little loops are separating. It actually gives it a little more fluff to the bow. There we go. I think we're good now. Give this a little trim. I've got a puppy laying at my feet. They were outside, they were all hot. And I think I'm gonna just put, I had my other bow kind of in the center, but this one I think I'm going to go ahead and put kind of off to the side. I'm gonna grab a mini glue dot to adhere the bow to the card front. And I'm just gonna put that right in there. Whoops. It doesn't want to stick, huh? And I'm gonna put that right in there. And I think that looks cute. So there's our card done. But you know, the Darling Detail set is just so whimsical and so fun. And using the bright colors and the gingham, I think, is just perfect for this set. So all we have left to do is the envelope flap. And I've got a piece of coordinating gingham to put on the flap. And then we are done. So don't forget, check in with my blog tomorrow and check out all the great stuff that's happening in the month of July, starting tomorrow. Online exclusives, the 48-hour paper pumpkin sale. And I'm talking and not focusing here, and my paper is sliding all over the place. Try to get it straight anyway, right? Okay, there we go. Paper Pumpkin 48-hour sale on past kits, new online exclusives, the clearance rack refresh, so lots going on. And you can earn those coupons during bonus days. So I've already started my list. Of course, I don't know what the rest of the new online exclusives are, so I can't wait to see those. And I hope it's not a ton of them because, oh my gosh, my poor credit card. But it is what it is. Oh, thanks so much, Karen. Appreciate it. I just think it's such a happy set. This set makes me smile. I've been doing happy cards most of the week. I guess my one yesterday was kind of somber, but yeah. My card today was definitely a happy card with the Let's Go Shopping bundle. All right, so here we go. So Darling Details bundle and the Glorious Gingham 6x6 Designer Series paper makes up for a cute little card and an easy card, which easy sometimes is nice, right? And there we go. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And I will see you all back here next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Have a great one. Bye-bye.